Two policemen, Xu Yiming and Chu Qi, arrive in the small village of Fengming. They are searching for Chu Qi's sister, who came to this village some time ago and then disappeared. The guests are greeted by the village chief, Jia Quan, who tells them a horrifying story that happened there several years ago. A trio of drunk scoundrels raped the bride of a local rich man, Liu Jin, right at the wedding. After that, the Liu family's house burned down, and the disgraced girl turned into a vengeful ghost. The inner workings of Chinese online cinema are mostly opaque, but snippets of production-related information occasionally leak out. For instance, it's known that the script for The Cursed Village was approved by the censorship committee because its creators emphasized that their film aims to eradicate feudal superstitions. It sounds lofty and profound, but in reality, this is one of the most common levers used to influence the censors. In China, you can't just want to make a movie. You also have to explain why the film is necessary, and here the reason is right on the surface. This lever is applied mainly to so-called folk thrillers, retro detective stories that gained popularity in the early 2020s, but have since proliferated in insane numbers. They all follow the same template. The action takes place in the first half of the century, and an enlightened investigator or doctor arrives in some remote village. There, he begins to investigate a death that looks like the work of a ghost or a zombie, but in the end, it turns out to be an elaborate hoax, devised by some villain who uses superstitions to cover up his crimes. Films in this genre rarely deviate from this successful formula, and The Cursed Village fits into it perfectly. Although success might be a stretch here, not all such films make it beyond China's borders, so they haven't become stale in the West yet. But in the Middle Kingdom, they've been analyzed inside and out, so almost no one pays attention to new folk detectives anymore, despite the trend's very recent popularity. This is hardly surprising, as it might even seem that these films now appear without the involvement of directors. Just toss a handful of random elements into a barrel of folklore. To be objective, The Cursed Village is far from the worst representative of this genre. It's a film that is fairly well thought out as a detective story and is overall constructed quite professionally. The plot is well crafted and engaging. However, it falls short in other areas, particularly in its casting. On one hand, it instantly gives away the main villain, and on the other, it fills the lead roles with such unremarkable and inexpressive young actors that it makes one fear for the future of Chinese cinema. None of them show the potential and charisma of a real star, and frankly not even any engagement with the plot. That's not visible either. And if the film's heroes aren't interested in unraveling the mystery they find themselves in, then the audience won't care about it either. Alas, The Cursed Village is a film that frightens not with its atmosphere, but with the absence of a living spark on screen.